Notts County Talk, back with another match preview. It's against Halifax. It's a home fixture. It's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be our biggest test yet, definitely. It's the first bring a friend fixture, the first of 9 that is. Now we encourage everyone to bring a friend, get boost the attendance.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, if you bring the same friend, that's saving an adult £180 over the season.
Yeah,
that's an incredible offer. And even if they don't take advantage of maybe getting a season ticket this season, it's going to encourage people for the next season, isn't it? So these are the games where you hope the performance is spot on.
Yeah.
It's like sort of when that owner was in charge before, I don't want to mention his name, and he was doing the £1 matches, you hope to get the good performances.
Yeah.
And the first time he did it against Crewe was great, and it definitely did help to boost attendance.
Definitely, yeah.
So moving on to the opponents, Halifax, like George said, could be the toughest test. 4 wins in their last 5 games, which 12 points out of 15.
It's good going.
That's promotion form in any division.
Exactly, yeah.
The only positive for Notts is that their most recent game was a 2-0 defeat at home. So, they're coming in good form in the last 5, but in the most recent game they're not in the best form.
It was to Yeovil as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, at home.
Which we should have beat at their place, so
yeah,
promising.
Yeah, that's a good point. They sit on exactly double the number of points that Notts do, so second place 22 points, Notts down in 14th on 11 points, and that gap is slowly starting to open up now between us and the playoffs. I think it's 5 points now, which isn't great. 1 more point on Halifax, which I don't really like the sound of, is that they're the top scorers in the division, 19 goals this season.
Yeah, it's worrying, isn't it? With the defensive record that Notts have at the moment, it's definitely concerning. But on to players to watch from Halifax. Now we're going to go straight in with a goalkeeper in Sam Johnson. He's played for them for 3 seasons. Is their first name on the team sheet, isn't he? Really? He's had 3 man of the matches, hasn't he? So far this season. One of which being a defeat, which speaks volumes, I think. Especially with Notts not being as clinical and seeming to be unlucky with keepers at the moment. It's not one that I'm very happy about.
Yeah, that could really be a key player in the game, if he's on form again and he's coming in confidence.
Yep.
Getting man of the matches. So moving on from the goalkeeper to the centre back, so I've got Nathan Clark, 35-year-old centre back, 6'2", so he's decent in height, commanding. He's played every single minute this season at 35 years of age.
It's good going, that is, isn't it?
Tells you that he is a key player for them.
Yep.
2 goals already, so he's obviously a threat from set pieces. I assume that they're goals from set pieces.
It's all worrying signs, isn't it, so far?
But yeah, so Nathan Clark, he's definitely going to be one to watch at the back, and you just hope that maybe Wootton, if he starts, is a player that is on top of Nathan Clark. But again, defensively they're looking very solid. So the final player to watch out for, he's about the joint fourth top scorer in the league, Liam McAlinden. So he's got 5 goals this season already. He's sort of been in and around clubs on loan, but he signed permanently this year from Cheltenham. Didn't really play much for them, but he's come into this league, and obviously 5 goals already, more than any of our players have got, I think. So he's really found his feet.
Yeah, he's found his level there, definitely, hasn't he? Moving away from our opponents, we're going to go on to team news for Notts. Now, there's not any real team news. It's just a tweet that we saw from Les Brad. Now, there was a staff night out, wasn't there, in the week? The owners, the manager, staff, players, they were all there. And he's put out a tweet saying he's not seen togetherness like it since the 70s, which is it's nice to see him put that, because he's a person that has a huge stature at the club. And from Neil saying he scores those diving headers in front of what's now the Hayden Green family stand, he's a player that you sort of listen to.
Definitely.
He's got a big history at Notts.
And I think with the way results have been going, to see he used the word camaraderie after, is it 2 wins all season? 2 or 3? I think it's 2 all season. To still have that belief and togetherness is good. And Ardley said the wins will come. And I know we've only had 2 wins and fans are getting frustrated. But like we've already said, if the strikers took their chances, you've turned 2 or 3 of those draws into wins.
Yep.
So that's great to hear from Les Brad, and hopefully we start to see the benefits of that on the pitch.
There was also videos as well, wasn't there? Notts County actually put them on Twitter. I think, when we score goals and they put up like the celebrations of players, I think they were doing that. That's what it looked like to me anyway. And all the players look like they're having a right laugh of it. So I think that's really nice to see. Even Doyle, like people think he's like got that negative, but he was having a laugh with the players, and they looked like they were really together.
On that point as well, I've seen that Enzio said he never contemplated leaving with the financial crisis in the summer.
Yeah.
And that he wants to win things with Notts.
Yeah. He says he wants to stay, didn't he?
Yeah. So
that's nice.
It's all looking positive. I think it's good that we've had the week's break.
Yeah.
Just Saturday, Tuesday was too much.
Yeah. Every manager was complaining about it.
Yeah.
Even Sutton's manager was complaining about it.
So I feel like this is a bit of a fresh start.
Moving on to team selection. Now we're going to stick with a 4-4-2. It just seems to be the formation we're using a lot at the moment. Straight in at number 1, Slocum.
Definitely.
Solid for me.
Yep.
It doesn't really do much wrong, does he? Now, back 4, Tom?
Start with left back McCrory. I think Bakayoko offers slightly more going forward, but defensively against the team that are the top scorers, for me, it's got to be McCrory.
Yep.
And I think he's cemented his place.
Yep.
And one of the centre backs I'll pair him with is Ben Turner. Obviously, he's one of the first names on the team sheet. He's had that rest now because he's been playing for his age Saturday, Tuesday. So Ben Turner, one of the centre backs for me.
Yeah.
The centre back.
We were converging on this one. It was either Rawlinson or Graham, wasn't it? Now we've gone with Graham just to give that little bit of youth in the centre. We've got Turner. Now we won't mind seeing Rawlinson. He's another solid option. It's just nice to have these options, isn't it?
Yeah. We just felt that Rawlinson came in against Sutton just to rest Graham, because Graham had been playing sort of 81 minutes in the previous game, then 90, and I think either of the two paired with Turner's a decent partnership.
Definitely.
Right back.
Kelly Evans. It's got to be.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kelly Evans has been solid all season. Coped really well against the big man in the last home game. So Kelly Evans for right back. I think Enzio left mid. I think this is a game that he can really turn up in.
Yeah.
I think this is a big game, and the Notts fans know it's a big game. A bigger crowd with this bring a friend fixture, and I think one moment of magic is just enough to warrant his name on the team sheet. But he's got to provide that moment, whether it's a class assist or one where he cuts in and scores a screamer. Yeah.
Now the two central midfielders, we've gone with Doyle and Booty. Now I've gone with Doyle because he's the manager's favourite, isn't he? I think he's captain. He's played fairly well as well recently. And Booty, just because he offers that like attacking force, doesn't he? And I think against Halifax we're going to need that.
Yeah, we were saying at home, like there is with some fans pressure going on hardly. You're at home. Again, I'm going to mention it. Bring a friend.
Yeah.
It's like we've got to go and attack.
Yeah.
We've got to go and attack. Like we can't be negative and defensive. If we've got Enzio and Booty, Doyle's going to have to do a lot of defensive duty, but I think
he can do it.
We've got to see Booty in the middle, especially because Rose and O'Brien haven't really been on the pace that much.
Yep. Now right mid, we're going to go with Shields, aren't we?
Yeah.
He's come in, like we've not really seen much of him, have we? But it's just nice to have a bit of a change in the squad. Now we've said as well we won't mind seeing Osborne in that right mid position.
Either two.
Just the youth and the speed that he has.
Yeah.
Now
fantastic.
Front two, obviously we said one of the first names we like to see is Dennis. We like Dennis, don't we?
Love Dennis, yeah.
Yeah, and Wotton as well.
Yeah, after the goal.
Good goal.
You've got to keep him in, and I think like we've already mentioned with the centre back that Halifax have. If Wotton wins that battle, Wotton's an inch taller.
Yeah.
That is massive. I think you've got to play a big man when you've up front when you've got the likes of that Halifax centre half. That you're just going to have to try and dominate in the air.
That extra inch counts, doesn't
it? Yeah, it does. Could be winning a header to win the game.
Exactly.
Going on to prediction.
I'm going 3-0.
3-0. You love that.
I sound like a weirdo saying this, but I actually had a dream in the week that we won 3-0 and it was great. It was all celebrating. Me, you, Neil, Jordan, all of us.
Trouble was, you were sat in the family stand in your dream, weren't you? So.
Yeah, that was the trouble. Yeah. But goal scorers: Dennis to get 2 and O'Brien to get 1.
I'm going to go 2-0 because I think this is a massive game in Notts season. I think Ardley knows it. I think if we play the attacking style that we want to see, Dennis is going to score 1 for me and also Wotton, and I'm going to go 2-0.
Great, yeah.
So, sorry. In the comment section below, just leave your predicted team and the goal scorers. Anything to add?
No.
Let's go. Let's try and get this win against second place Halifax.
And bring a friend.